Whoa! So this is Totally Radical Mixtape Podcast, show 12. The Little Fool. It's a lot of sap, but it's a beaut. It's a beaut. We are going to have a happiest Christmas show to present to you. Todd, who will be sharing some eggnog with on this show?
Well, on today's show, we're going to take a sleigh ride back to 1989 to revisit the holiday classic National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Next, Paul and I will go back in time and talk about some of the best gifts that we were ever gotten for Christmas from our folks back when we were little kids. Then I'm going to give a gift to all of you out there and share my holiday Viticus recipe with you, especially if you need some holiday spirits that exceed 100 proof this year. But if you like what you see on the show, make sure you throw us a little bit of holiday love and smack a candy cane off your like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss any shows in the new year.
Well, I don't know where those like and subscribe buttons are. We've already got a glitch for the new year, but us spending time on this endeavor, it isn't charity, folks. It's family. Can you feel it? Like that one family member that shows up unannounced, for instance. After you check out our extra gifts on our Facebook and Instagram pages, you will declare, hallelujah! Holy shit, where's the Tylenol?
And later, we'll each feature our beer of the week, and I'll talk about one that is sure to help you have a nice long winter's nap. We'll wrap the show up with a focus on Christmas season songs as we add 5 more bangers to the Totally Radical Ultimate Mixtape. Add them to your own playlist on your music streamer and rock out to them there, or check out our always growing Totally Radical Mixtape playlist featured on Spotify. But now, without further ado, let's load up that sleigh, let's wrap up the cat, and let's get this holiday party started. It's showtime.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
I'm so glad the bitch is gone.
The bitch is out.
Whew. Hey, I think I actually cut you off at the very end. It's showtime.
It's showtime.
I got excited, man. I have my Christmas llama. What do you got?
Nice.
You got something on, don't you?
Was that a llama or an alpaca?
It's a llama. I don't care. It's a llama.
Okay. Well, I've got my my Slayer Christmas ugly sweater on for today. It's a very polarizing piece of clothing, but yeah, just the holiday season. It's the great time to wear that sort of thing to support some of my favorite bands of yesteryear that we feature on this show damn near every week.
Have we featured Slayer yet?
We had Raining Blood on one of the
Raining Blood.
Yeah,
perfect
absolutely.
For Christmas.
You got that right.
Well, we just finished Thanksgiving, and you mentioned on the last show going to have a new tradition at the Bootlegger. How was that?
Yes, the Bootlegger Bistro for Thanksgiving. The place was pretty packed, but the food was outstanding. Plus, the old fashions weren't half bad either. They make a old fashioned with the Taffer's brown butter bourbon, which is a nice little flair to the old fashioned. You know, John Taffer of Bar Rescue fame. He's a Vegas native, so he gets distribution in the bars and all that fancy stuff. But yeah, they had turkey and all that good stuff there. But I had to go with the veal parm since we're in an Italian restaurant. You eat Italian food. Don't bother with the turkey.
You don't want to upset the mobsters.
Absolutely not. Don't want to get buried out in the shallow part of the desert. And it's funny, the part of the part of town, the southwest side where I live, is always renowned to be a spot before it was populated where they used to bury the bodies. It's about 4 miles from the strip, so just enough out of town. And a lot of the folks that I know that live over that way all say their houses are haunted. So I was like, oh, well, there you go. You probably got somebody who ran across the wrong guy and got buried in a shallow grave.
I wonder what that would look like on an Italian poltergeist. show. they
Oh, it
they
sounds
come
like
out of the
Mario
ground
Brothers.
yeah, in their pools. Hey,
Right.
forget about it. What are you doing? Hey, get
We're
the
gonna
heck.
clean the filter of this thing, man. This is filthy. Oh
Hey,
my
forget
gosh.
about it. Well, are you
Forget
going to be
about it.
heading out again, or are you going to be staying home for Christmas?
We are gonna hole up like a bunch of Christmas hermits this year. Yeah, no real. Well, we may venture out to evolve. You know, we have the new brewery that just opened up on our side of town about a year and a half ago. So we always like to get out there and support them. Great homemade, house made beers. I think 17 of their 24 taps are their stuff that they make, and it's all freaking awesome. So I think we'll spend some time there. But outside of that, nothing major. How about you?
Yep, staying home, and people are going to be coming to us this time versus us driving 6+ hours
Good
to go
grief.
visit family. So, you know who else is stayed home for the holidays for Christmas?
Who's that?
The Griswolds.
That's right. That's right. This wasn't a true vacation. This was a staycation.
Because we're the Griswolds.
I think this was the only one of the franchise that they actually did not go somewhere.
That's right. That's right. This
All
was
right.
wow, look at that.
I know. I tried to find a background that screamed 25,000. What did he say?
25,000 it's Italian lights or something along
Italian
those
lights.
lines.
Yeah, I don't know what the Italian part is, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny they mentioned in the research I found that they said if he had actually illuminated all of those lights and it had them on the entire month, it would generate like a $12,000 power bill or something of that nature, and they probably have to use like a nuclear backup to support it.
And there's always one in the area, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I live in a golf course neighborhood where everybody wants to show crap off, and I know there was actually a reality show that was shooting up in the next neighborhood Christmas before last, and it was pretty damn close to what you're seeing here. It was kind of Griswoldy, that's for sure.
Yeah, we enjoy watching. Is it the light fight? I think there's a show. It's a light fight, and two hosts go around the country and pick from, I guess, people who are nominated or put their own names in, and they judge their lighting
Good.
abilities and their decorations, and it's massive. Some of the stuff are just massive, and to the point where how do you even pick and choose? But no,
Yeah, we go as far as the little inflatable Santa and Frosty out front. I got some little light up deer and stuff like that, but that's about it. I don't get up and
yeah.
staple a couple thousand lights to the roof. I don't think that's especially here in the Adobe architecture part of the world.
Yeah, no. I'm not a fan of ladders. I don't mind them, but as I get older, I become more cautious of high places and falling.
And falling and breaking limbs, and the
Yeah.
recovery that goes. You got to climb mountains. Don't fall down them.
Yeah, I'm not as spry as I used to be, where I can do a ninja flip and land on all fours. Wah!
Back in the day.
But then
Well,
again, I
I
don't
mean,
live in Chicago either, and have snow to deal with. So that's another factor that I think people should get extra points on, is when you're actually decorating in inclement weather.
you got to be dedicated. Or you could end up getting electrocuted. Like, well, it actually didn't get electrocuted, although represented on the title card.
Mhm.
But he did everything but. That's for sure.
Yeah, they covered everything, didn't they? It was very much well, actually, I wrote it down where, in the same thing I did with Adventures in Babysitting, not directed by the same person, almost though, but the checklist of what could go wrong during Christmas, and this is the movie that contains it all, type of thing.
Yes.
And I believe the European one contained a completely different stuff that wasn't even in the movie, like being chased by a giant snowball or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. European Vacation, they took a little blowback because Cousin Eddie wasn't a part of that movie. Everybody's like, we want Cousin Eddie to come back, and obviously to bring his RV and his other shitter problems that he had. But that's story for a little bit later on.
Well, it helped us
But
write our opening, didn't it?
it really did. It really did.
It
But
did.
you know, and the dedication of going out to the forest to go get,
Mm.
that tree. I mean, that was and
Well,
so
that's from my own personal, like I'm very aware of going on a national forest and cutting down your own tree and what it involves. And this was probably out of permit requirements.
I would think so. I would think so. Well, I think that as far as well, so just for those that don't remember that detail, the fact that they didn't have a saw, so they ended up having to uproot the tree, which still I was kind of like, well, how would they have
Yeah,
done that without a backhoe or some sort of
yeah,
a
shovel.
winch, something,
Yeah, I don't even know
something.
what tool they went out there with, but yeah, look at the size of that thing. And I don't know if you have it in the banners or not, Charlie, but somebody says that the tree gets smaller and smaller as you watch the movie. I don't know if they trim it back throughout the movie without us knowing, but eventually it becomes less of a monstrosity in the living room than it does at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it was certainly a well. I think I would have done the same. I mean, because once they unwrapped it, it stretched through all of the windows. I mean, that's a
And all the sap, all the sap.
yeah, very sappy, very sappy.
But that's beautiful Chicago, isn't it? Or
It's a John Hughes movie, so of course it's in Chicago. That's for
yeah,
sure.
shot in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I don't know. Again, I will probably repeat this, but I'm sure we're going to have another sharing of how the weather didn't cooperate, so they actually made artificial snow or something like that.
It seems like all the movies we run across are all fake snow. They're in the wrong climates, or they're getting the wrong type of weather. Well, the opening was kind of cool of the anime. I did forget about that.
Oh yeah, I did.
I've seen this movie. This is one of those that I remembered every detail of the movie, but
Hmm.
I forgot the opening. So the cartoon at the beginning. Again, the animated Santa gets electrocuted, so that was on him. Got hit by bricks, pants on fire, kind of stuff. So as far as that goes, that's entertaining, I would have to say.
Yeah, I don't know if
But
you're going to
yeah,
have Chevy Chase is not going to pull that. He's too much of a star to have that happen to him.
right. Well, and interestingly enough, there were a couple that didn't want to direct the movie because Chevy Chase always has a reputation of being difficult to work with. And that's including John Hughes. I mean, he wrote the movie, but he didn't want to direct it to have to deal with Chevy Chase, which is kind of interesting.
Well, yeah. So 1989 Christmas Vacation, or officially National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's was a magazine. I guess sort of. Well, probably a little more refined than Mad magazine and some others that are out there. It was definitely a launching pad for many comedians,
Mhm.
writers of sitcoms and such, and movies, and quite popular and also controversial at the same time. And it was there that it was initially shared by John Hughes, who used to work for them.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
Well, Animal House was a National Lampoon's movie as well,
sure.
which is in the '80s. So we gotta find a spot for that one at some point.
Yeah, that'd be
All is
during the
well.
college. That'll be during the college time. So
Oh,
yes,
God.
I mean, did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Um,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely
again,
not.
Chicago can't get away from Chicago, folks. So hopefully we're being syndicated in Chicago. And hello, all Chicagoans or whatever you call yourselves.
One can only hope.
Yeah, this is a $25 budget film that made 73 million worldwide. Written and co-produced by John Hughes, who we've talked about many, many times, and we'll probably continue to talk about. And then 7.5 on the IMDb and 72, which is pretty low, Rotten Tomatoes.
I think that may be the highest IMDb rating of any movie we've reviewed so far. I think we had a 7.4, but not a 7.5. So we're really upping the ante as far as the quality of the movies that we're talking about.
A gift from us to you.
That's right. Again, we do the work so you don't have to.
Despite the gigantic cast there, I'm only going to mention obviously Chevy Chase, Clark Griswold, Beverly D'Angelo, his a lovely wife Ellen, and Randy Quaid as Eddie. Everyone else obviously played a role here and there, weaving in and out. Obviously, Audrey and Rusty there in the middle. You know, Juliette, is it Juliette Lewis?
That's Juliette Lewis in one of her first movie roles ever.
Yeah, and then that kid eventually became the kid from
Johnny Galecki.
yeah, from what was it, Big Bang Theory? This is Big Bang Theory. Anyway, but we won't they just because they change them out almost every show or movie. But anyway, and the other ones obviously come into as secondary people, including the kids.
Well, the older lady, she was the voice of Betty Boop back in 1930. Yes. So this was her last movie role that she was ever in. And if you think the little kids on the right-hand side, if I remember correctly, in Vacation, didn't the one she was missing her tongue or something like that? Well, it must have grown back.
Well, she's cross-eyed.
That's what it was.
Yeah, she was cross-eyed.
Oh my God!
But yes, Betty Boop, and she actually did the voice, just the voice. Well, obviously it's just a voice anyway because it's animated.
But wasn't her for real.
she did the voice as recently as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
pretty wild.
Yeah, or anyway, I might be. If I'm wrong on that, I'll fix it on the screen.
There you go. Well, I mean, but this movie was 1989. I think Roger Rabbit was like the year before, so she was working up until the end. So good for her. Good for her. And then Brian Doyle Murray, of course, he was a part of the mix as well. He was National Lampoon. I'm sorry, Caddyshack, if you remember. He was the guy Lou, the guy who ran the snack bar at the golf course.
Caddyshack 2, right?
No, that was the original. Oh,
was he? Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he was also. The guy at the Camp Comfort in National Lampoons, he was the guy.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Chevy Chase did Funny Farm right before this, and then Fletch Lives, I think might have been at the same time or right after. But this was his last hit for Chevy. I believe 6 movies in a row were all flops until Man of the House. And then Beverly D'Angelo, I mean, she's done work before, but nothing that you and I or most of our audience probably remembers. Something called Cold Front was her last movie before this. But Randy Quaid obviously has gone on to do multiple different things. But before this was Caddyshack 2, Out Cold. And then we mentioned Juliette Lewis, the Cape Fear. And then
Natural Born Killers was my favorite role of hers.
Yeah. And like I said, yeah, Rusty was a kid from Roseanne too, which
that's right.
We will never feature on this show.
Not one time.
That's even worse than Alf, in my opinion.
Right. We'll have her sing the national anthem at one of the shows. This is probably the flagship of the entire franchise. I know the original one people like, but I mean, Christmas Vacation is the one that's just on permanent loop. It's almost like Elf on cable, where they just are showing it on permanent. Like some of the older movies, the Christmas Story. I mean, just it's on. You can watch it 24 hours on TNT if you wanted to torture yourself like that.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street and all those. It's a Wonderful Life. There you go.
Yep. Well, speaking of old movies, when Clark got locked in the attic, if you remember that, he and it's interesting, houses in Vegas, we don't have attics here. I mean, it's a crawl space where your air conditioning is. That's about all that's going to be up there. But the house I grew up in, we had sort of that full attic like they did, and I do remember actually. Screwing around up there one day, and I ran into the box of the old Super 8s. Like that's what he found, the film. So I remember going to my dad and say, "Hey, do we have a projector that this works on?" And we had this old ass thing. It looked like it came from a classroom. A big old steel thing. And I mean, sure as shit, we got it to work. And we were looking at like my grandparents and stuff, from way back in the day. So that was pretty neat. But that's when I see this movie, I always think back of stumbling on those films and running into those. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, same thing. It's interesting who has a connection with an attic memory across the nation, and it varies. Also, how the houses being built today, how many people use them versus the older homes that, people stored all kinds of stuff. I just went into mine just to grab Christmas decorations, and most of it's just insulation. I can't, that's nothing I can do up here. I can't,
Right.
and plus climbing up the stupid ladder to get up there versus, and we did have that one where you pull it and it folds out
Yeah.
from the movie. So whenever I see that thing shoot out and whack him in the head, I go, yeah, that is
Stand
absolutely.
aside.
Yeah.
We back east we had basements too. Again, something completely foreign to us out in Las Vegas, but yeah. So that's always
I
a good
miss
place
basements.
to. Yeah, always a good place to hide out or put the pinball machine, that kind of thing.
Well, that's where the kids usually play, is in the basement, and that's where all the toys and stuff and everything else goes into. And yeah, out of the way of what mom doesn't want to see all that. Put it in the basement. But
That's right.
What we didn't see in the attic was, the lady from Hellraiser and
That's right.
the claw
That's right.
hammer.
Thank God. Yeah, you don't want to mess around with him. The Cenobites would be playing music in the background while it's going on.
Yeah, so this right here is exactly another thing that it screams your dad, and honestly it screams some of the stuff that people have to deal with that do all these light fights and these massive Christmas decorations in their yard. The plugs and the power surge, power protectors, all that stuff is insane. So this was definitely a scene that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I remember asking my dad at this time, and I said, "How many can you put together?" I mean, I was asking a legitimate question. Well, they wouldn't put the holes in the back if they didn't want you to put another plug in there. I'm like, "Well, I get that, but just there's got to be a lot." I think we 3, I think, was our limit. We didn't quite stack it up like we're looking at here, but yeah, and then just we run into things like the the chemical toilet. I mean, eventually the shitter is going to get full at some point. But yeah, I guess Randy Quaid definitely adds a certain something to the movie. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, and I think they make him appear just out of nowhere, which is completely shocking when you see it, and then it just gets better beyond that, where you have the RV and what he's doing in the with the sewage.
Yeah, he traded out the house for the RV. But, yeah.
Yes, and this is actually true. I just did this tonight, where I have everything plugged in. It's from what I did last year, and then I I do one of these things. Come on!
Right.
I close my eyes and open them. Yes, it works, but not with 25,000 lights. Which is probably nothing. I recall, again, these homes going 25,000 is nothing. We're talking 150,000 lights. Look at that. Imagine being across the street from them, closing the windows, just like Todd and I forgot what was her name, but
Margot
and what? Julia
I don't know, Margot.
Todd.
And that was right before. Julia Louis-Dreyfus had been on Saturday Night Live and a couple other things, but that was right before she really hit it big on Seinfeld after that.
Yeah, and I don't know again if the Banos show, but this is one of those you go back and do the deep dive, and as they're pulling away, I forgot where they might have been going, or maybe they were introducing some people. But if you look up at the window that the gigantic icicle went through from the gutter, the window is already repaired, like
That's
the
right.
next day, showing how snobby they are, which is just actually perfect. So just a small thing that you don't even know.
Well, also, and it really kind of told a whole generation of people that if you want to murder somebody with an icicle, that's probably the perfect murder weapon that you can use, because there ain't going to be nothing left by the time cops get here. But just saying,
Perfect crime.
That's right.
Take note,
And then
lobsters in Las Vegas.
that's right. That's right. And then you had the underwear salesman at the mall. So I mean, she was
Yeah.
definitely tidbit nipply, I think, or I know he was blousing. He wasn't browsing. He was blousing.
And it was hotter than
Yeah,
you
yeah,
thought it
little
was in the
hooter,
store.
a little hooter.
Look, Russ, no line.
But one thing I noticed with this one is, so I mean, everybody gets so conditioned to the TV version, with just some of the edits that you never really notice. But the uncut version has a little bit more when he's visualizing the pool that he's putting in when he looks out the back window.
Mm.
She strips down a little bit further in the uncut version versus the one that's usually on TBS. So just a little subtle thing, but yeah, she was bringing it strong, that's for sure.
I think she's 75 now. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. We've talked on some of the other shows about the battles with ratings as far as where they land. Because PG, you're going to make a little bit more money, but R rating sometimes they want that. But this one, to get a PG rating in the UK, they had to cut out the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap dance with Danny fucking K line. So they had to take that 2 seconds out there, and they were able to get the rating.
Okay.
You wouldn't think the UK people would be so uptight about something like that.
Yeah, yeah, with the young ones. Come on.
That's right. That's
uptight
right.
Little uptight bastards.
I'm telling you. And then it was interesting. This was the only vacation movie that didn't have a Lindsey Buckingham song, which I know is potentially might be in one of your picks. But and Lindsey Buckingham's the reason he turned it down was he said he didn't want to be a soundtrack musician. It's like, well, that's Kenny Loggins' job. I mean, he obviously does all the other themes, so back off, Lindsey.
I know. Kenny's like, good. This is my genre, buddy.
Kenny's like, you and Stevie can just go take your cocaine problem somewhere else, and I'll do all the movie themes and make all the cash.
Oh, you just entered the danger zone.
That's right. Oh my gosh, but yeah, but at a couple of the other things, I mean, again, obviously, yeah.
Lindsay.
What's so remember the pets from the movie. So you had Snots, who was the the overwhelming dog who chased the squirrel through the house and damn near destroyed everything. And then you had Aunt Bethany's cat, which was wrapped up as a gift as they came in. She was actually Beverly D'Angelo's real life cat.
Not electrocuted.
Not electrocuted. Not a fried kitty. But
I want to bring this up too. The squirrel.
Yep.
Right. They were trying to. Oh yeah, they were trying to use a trained squirrel for the scene. Hollywood. Have a trained squirrel until the trained squirrel had a heart attack and died. So
really?
they brought in a secondary untrained squirrel, and that's when they had to use a CGI animation or whatever they did to get the scene where it leaps into the living room.
That's a well, I think I remember in Anchorman they were featuring a squirrel that was water skiing, so maybe it was the same squirrel.
Classy San Diego, of course.
Shoot, that's right. 50% of the time it works every time.
There she is.
There's Margot punching out Todd after his. Actually, that was after she was attacked by the squirrel. She went over to get them sorted out. Julia Louis-Dreyfus opens the door. Squirrel's being chased out. Snots lands on top of her. So it's she's got to share a little bit of love with Todd. And then here's
look at that. He's giving you some love.
That's right. Well, they were foreshadowing Vegas Vacation, which was the next one that came out 8 years later.
And he had I think he had a lip fungus.
Yeah. There was they had a rough time. That's what when you I think they were wrangling the snakes out in Vegas Vacation. You got to do a snake wrangle.
That's right. Do you ever think about the Pledge of Allegiance?
I don't. In the banners, I don't.
Yeah. So Betty Boop, if you will, is that her that was singing?
Yep.
Yeah, she was saying it, and she's so old that she sang the original Pledge of Allegiance that did not contain the "Under God" portion until that was added in 1954. I think.
That's
But
right.
she just sang the one that she just grew up with and knew. But
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and Todd, the guy that you just saw
Todd.
being punched out, he is the brother of Christopher Guest, who's Spinal Tap.
That's right. I knew there was a connection.
Well, we have to tie it in. We have to tie that bow, Charlie, to all of our previous shows.
Well, one thing we've confirmed through 12 episodes is it's a sordid underbelly, the 80s, when it came to the movies and everybody's friends getting to keep playing in the same movies. I mean, it's
Thick as thieves.
Oh my gosh, terrible.
All right, so the tree, the parents, the lights, Eddie, the ants, the bonus, the turkey, the cat, the burning of the tree, sewage, and the saucer slide. Oh my gosh, I love that saucer slide scene. That'll scare your neighbors. Yeah, that'll scare your neighbors.
Yeah. Give them the old chainsaw. But yeah, so a Christmas classic again wouldn't be a Christmas season without watching it 2 or 3 times. But again, it's a movie that I wanna toast when I get the opportunity.
I want a beer. Beer. Beer.
Wait, we should get some road beers, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should get some road beers.
No alcohol? This place sucks.
I can't take this much longer. I gotta have a beer. Brilliant.
Oh, speaking of alcohol, they actually didn't drink any beer on Christmas Vacation. Oh, maybe
Just
Eddie did.
I think the eggnog apparently was spiked. So
Yeah, so I have I don't know, you might have spotted it. This is my ode to the is it the Wally World?
yeah.
Glass. I don't have a Wally World glass, but this is as close as I can get. All right. I am drinking Laughing Monk Brewery, the Paradise Lost Saison, 7%, made with rice and rye, out of San Francisco. It's about all they have on their can to offer.
That's it. Huh?
I will offer this though as extra credit. Saisons, it means season in French, and you can get farmhouse ales. Those are typically saison styles, which are dry, fruity, spicy. There's different saisons you can get. This one's just they just say it's just a saison, which I'm like, yeah, all right. But yeah, they have a little bit of a kick to them, if you will, if you like that. A lot of people not super fans of saisons. And again, when you go into a brewery and you look up at the menu, not a lot of saisons are screaming at you. So if you see one and it's summertime, typically, go for it.
Well, I think if it doesn't say IPA, all the people that don't know what they're talking about are like, well, I don't want that. That's not what I saw on TV.
What you got?
Saisons are pretty unique, though. I mean, they definitely have their own flavor profile. That's for sure.
They are, and they're very difficult. Well, not difficult to brew, I would say, but the yeast itself is very unique. So you have to use a particular yeast strain. Typically, you can pull off with both dry yeast and liquid yeast, but these you can add a lot of things. You can add cranberries and apricots and all kinds of other different fruits. So yeah, it's a you're not hinged in. You're not painting yourself into a corner type of style that you can explore a lot. So that's what I do like about them.
Very nice, very nice. Well, in order to maintain my reputation as high ABV Charlie, I did venture down the boulevard again. I'm like a one-trick pony when it comes to my boulevard beers, but this one is a seasonal, as they tend to have some pretty hefty beers as we get towards the end of the year. This is their Cherries Jubilee Quad. So this is a 12.9 ABV. So again, drink one of these. Make sure you have a driver. This one's going to hit you hard. But it's a Belgian quad ale. It's infused with Washington and Belgian tart cherries. Matures gracefully for 13 months in oak apple brandy barrels with cherries added halfway through the aging process.
It's a lot of work.
You got that right. You got to have to invest some time. But the beer is beautifully layered with bright tart cherry notes and subtle brandy warmth, complemented by dark fruit, Belgian esters. That's old ladies. Belgian esters and a delicate hint of cinnamon apples. So, and I'll tell you, the first time I kind of took the beer in, very boozy. It kind of hits, as far as it hits the nose like that. And I think once you get into the initial, you get a subtle tartness as you're getting in there, but man, it just finishes so nice. And again, if you're looking for a beer to close your evening out or drown out the in-laws at Christmas dinner, this is probably going to be the one that's going to get you where you need to go.
Jeez, yeah. Brandy barrels. Yeah, the brandy, the cherry notes, that sounds quite good.
A lot going on. But with a lot of these boulevards, they like pop up for a couple of weeks and then they go away. So, of course, I had to leave with 3-4 packs. So we'll be putting a couple away for aging. Yeah, if they made them in bombers, trust me, I would have left with a case.
Barrel aged, well rested.
Yeah.
Except for when they go in there and start adding stuff. Hey, I'm trying to rest here. You're like, oh, sorry, man. I'm going to start shoving some cherries down your throat.
That's right. That's right. Well, I could share that recipe for while we're talking about booze. I could share the Viticus recipe before we move on.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
So the story behind Viticus, at least my personal story, is back when I lived in Baltimore, I was a season ticket holder for the Ravens, which pretty much meant that we tailgated every Sunday. We always brought a pretty healthy amount of booze along back in those days. But one of my fellow season ticket holders, Kevin O'Neill, every Christmas would bring these bottles to everybody that had all kinds of weird looking ingredients. You could kind of look in there and you're seeing like cinnamon sticks and other fruit that's a part of this thing. And he always would give me a bottle. And I know as soon as I took a taste, I'd be like, holy shit, this is blowing my head up here. But it was delicious, very seasonal tasting, kind of that. And that the cinnamon sticks, give you that part of it.
But very, very holiday spicing type of flavor.
Absolutely. As soon as it hits your lips, you're like, yeah, this is certainly a seasonal type of a thing. So
right, I'm just trying to separate it from like a mead, if you will, but it's not honey.
Well, it's got plenty of honey. I mean, as far as so really the premise for this is I reached out to Kevin. He lives in Seattle now. I reached out to him and I was like, do you remember what was in that? He goes, I had no idea. That was my mom's recipe. And I was just copying that. So I went online a few years ago and found a pretty damn bulletproof recipe. So it's essentially called Lithuanian honey liquor is really its proper name. But I use 750 ml of rye whiskey. So about 100 proof rye whiskey. It doesn't need to be super high dollar. I think the one I use every time is like $45 at Total Wine. So small investment for something like this. 2 cups of honey, 1 cup of water, couple jars of maraschino cherries, 1 orange that you're going to be slicing up, 6 cinnamon sticks, and then the caraway seed gives it sort of that holiday flavor. It's just a little extra that, gives it that little bit of oomph. So putting it together, super easy. So just take a saucepan, go cup of water, put the 2 cups of honey, put your cherries in, put the juice in too, make sure that's a part of the mix. Slice up your orange and your caraway seeds, and then just sit there, let it simmer for about 20 minutes, keep stirring that pot. And then once you're done with it, let it cool off, and then you put it into a storable container. So like what I use, we have these glass airtight cylinders, so I'll pour the stuff in there so I can kind of just tuck it away and keep it airtight. So then you pour your booze in also, and then you let it sit for about 30 days, open it up, take out the orange slices because they're starting to break down.
Right.
And then at that point, you can strain out the caraway seeds, which I wish I did, but I don't always do that because they're a little pain in the ass. It'll get stuck in your teeth and might choke you. So if I start choking after I do the shot, call 911 and then no, that's what it is. It's the damn caraway seed.
Take a screenshot first, then call 911.
Right, exactly. So I will say that. So this is what it looks like after a year.
Well, let's hold on a second. Hold on.
It's a very kind of so it's a very fruit juicy kind of consistency to it. So you can't really see through it. And it wasn't like that a year ago. It's sort of grown into what it is as of now. And then remember, the cherries are in there. So as I scoop out of the cylinder, I make sure that you throw a couple soaked cherries into the mix. So, but you figure it's been fermenting for about a year and blending all the flavors together. And I will tell you that this is a delicious treat. So cheers to the holidays.
Yeah, no kidding. Cheers. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
That's that caraway seed.
You jinxed yourself. You jinxed yourself.
Oh my gosh. What a mess. So, but yes, delicious. And think about it. So you'll probably watch the show in the middle of December, put it together. You'll have booze for the rest of the winter time. You have to let it sit for 30 days and you can have at it. But again, easy recipe. Even people that can't cook and do stuff can put something like this together. All you need is a saucepan and a stir spoon and you're in good shape.
Well, Lithuania is one of the Baltic state countries, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. Large, burly people. I've been to Estonia myself, and they have a lot of strong people in those countries, bumped up against Russia. Cold winters. I'm sure they need something to keep them warm. It's right across from Finland and Norway and Sweden. The Vikings have the mead, so I can get how that this was something originating in that country. It reminded me of gingina, if anybody knows what that is. It's out of Portugal. It's a sweet and strong liqueur made from sour cherries infused in brandy with added sugar and cinnamon, and served in small glasses like you have, Charlie, often with a cherry at the bottom, and is even sometimes served in a small chocolate cup that are then eaten. But we had those when we were in Portugal, and oh, so good. They almost made it a medicinal type of daily drink, ward off,
see that,
colds and whatnot. And I wouldn't even put it past the Viticus. I'm sure that's what you called it, but whatever they call it in Lithuania, that's something that they probably have a bit of a folklore, if you will, of keeping away the evil spirits.
Wards off colds, evil spirits, and then sometimes relationships, depending on how, if you have it in a larger glass. But the chocolate thing's a great idea. I've had some stuff in a luxury box out east, and was served in chocolate. I'm like, oh my god, this just makes it that much better. So thank you for that idea.
Well, I'm thinking if this show doesn't get us past 100 likes, 100 followers, 100 subscribers, we need to switch gears here and maybe do a liqueur, chocolate drink, beer making type of rock brewery type of endeavor, and then go that route for our retirement plan.
We're like Swiss Army knives. We can do whatever it takes. Multi-talented.
All right. Well, excellent. Rock on. This is good. We're getting in the spirit. Let's move on to our memories of our favorite gifts from Christmases past. All right, Charlie, how about this? Let's pretend that our parents just said, go upstairs, go to bed, and don't you wake up. So, all right, we're gonna go to sleep right now, Charlie. Hold on. And now it's Christmas time. Wake up, son of a bitch.
How did that fat man get down the chimney?
All right. Well, I guess we can start like this. And how did you enter the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in regards to what did you leave out for Santa, and did you leave anything out for the reindeers, and what time did you go to bed, or did you have any particular traditions with your family? And then, of course, waking up and coming downstairs and seeing the tree with the gifts.
I will tell you that my parents threw the greatest blowouts on Christmas Eve. A lot of their closer friends live within a couple blocks of where I grew up, so it was really about a 12-person party that would go on, have food, booze. I mean, they were all pretty big partiers back in the day, so it was always a lot of merriment going on. And usually they kick me out about 11 o'clock or so, kick me into the bedroom or whatever, and I guess they would start the wrapping process at that point. And I'm pretty sure they stayed up all night the way they looked at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's for sure. But yeah, they definitely went the extra mile to entertain all their friends, and then get the home Christmas taken care of. That's for sure.
All right, so they were the entertainers, if you will, of the block.
They were. They sure were on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure my mom wrapped all the presents and hid them really well. I have no idea where they hid. I don't even recall trying to find the presents. We weren't those kids, but the evening was, we were super excited. Our kids go to sleep, and then I'm pretty sure nobody did anything crazy to try to pretend that Santa was coming or whatever. But my mom did share that we left out minced pies for Santa. I guess that's some sort of English
mincemeat
thing.
Pie?
Yeah, mincemeat pies. No, not meat. I guess it's just minced pies. I don't know if that's meat or not. I don't think it was, but
I don't know. You guys have some weird food over there.
Yeah, I know, right? we left out spotted dick for Santa.
Some Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, black pudding and crap like that. And you're like, oh, you bangers and mash for the rain. No, and we didn't leave anything out for the reindeer because apparently my parents didn't give a crap about animals at that time because we didn't have a dog.
My dad was a big Jack drinker, so he would just leave a half empty glass there for Santa when he came by.
Whoa, look what he drank last night.
Medicinal purposes.
So yeah, we came down in the morning and proceeded to obviously, what it was we opened our gifts one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my brother had one set of gift wrapped, and then I had another one. So they were color coded, separated. You could pull them, and it was really easy to grab them out of the tree. And then boom, this is my collection. That's your collection. And then we proceeded to open up one gift at a time. And as soon as you unwrapped it, the wrapping went immediately into a giant black garbage bag.
Absolutely. Yeah, that shit gets unruly if you don't have that situation under control.
Yeah, my mom was insane about her cleanliness. Anyway,
we're even like that today because the dog's going to eat the wrapping paper and the tape if you don't get it all in a bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
well, yeah. As
personal
soon as you
safety.
start giving the dog the, hey, there's a bone in this wrapping paper. Is there a bone in every wrapping paper? Let me find out.
Yeah, our bulldogs are very meticulous unwrappers. I would say each of them is very. They'll go in, they'll just pick out where the weak spot is and just start
Yes.
tearing. And
Oh.
but then they want, like you said, they want to do it with everyone, and that's just not going to work.
No, yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, we did that, and then of course we jumped into our gifts. I will throw this out there initially, and then we'll move on to the gifts. But coming from England, we had and you mentioned it earlier, we had the Yorkshire pudding. We'll switch over to, hold on, let me remove this and switch back over to our Christmas stage. But yeah, we had the Yorkshire pudding, roast beef and Yorkshire puddings.
Nice.
Yep, tons of gravy. That's what we ate. And then we would do this. We had crackers, which is what these people are pulling. You know, the Santa Claus looking fella, Dad, pulling, and they would snap. They have a little firecracker, I guess, if you will, in them. Inside was little toys, little games, almost like a fortune cookie saying, and then a hat. The lady is wearing one of the hats. So we'd all wear these crowns around the dinner table, and it was a good cracking good time. If you
I
will.
can see that. I thought it was a Burger King crown at first. Right there.
Very similar. All right, you have it your way.
That's right.
King way. All right, so after speaking to my brother, getting his input because my memory is slowly fading away, I will tell you that Hot Wheels were huge. I did get a skateboard. I have actually a picture of me holding a skateboard at Christmas. Light Bright, Atari 2600 games, which we've featured on the show before. Rubik's, not Cube, but the Snake. I remember getting.
I had that. That was impossible.
But I just made stupid, things with it. Oh, this is a block. This is a snake.
Right.
This is a stick.
Yeah, just swing it at people.
Exactly. My brother mentioned tape recorder that we used to tape ourselves saying things, and it was at the time super high tech.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned the Aerowind Huffy bike that he told me a story where he launched down the street trying to be, what's that movie where they're racing their bicycles. Can't remember. We won't feature that on the show, but he was looking pretty amazing, and then he just bit the dust and got totally rashed up.
That's what happens.
Cried all the way home. But yeah, Huffy Bike was making I think their entry into the 10-speed at that time, and the forks actually were flattened to make the wind flow through the forks way much faster, like you could go 100 miles per hour or something.
What was interesting about that, because I had a Huffy, and I remember at that time, everybody was talking shit about Huffy. Oh no, the Huffies are garbage. You need a BMX or something like that. So eventually I graduated up to the BMX, which I don't know, maybe if it had better suspension or what, I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert. I just ride the thing up and down with my little playing card and the spokes. Yeah, sounded like a motorcycle. But
yeah, but we spent a lot of time on our bicycles, man.
Got that right. That was freedom. That was freedom.
And you would ride right into your buddy's front yard. You just throw the bike down. You would go in their house or go out back. Your bike would be there when you came back, and you'd all just ride through people's yards. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We got sticky fruitcake for Christmas a lot, so that was kind of odd. And our faces showed it too. Like, what the hell are we getting this for?
Yeah, that's a little rough. Hair dryer.
My brother was into. My brother, like I said, he looked like John Cusack. He had the really feathered hair, and he got a hair dryer for one Christmas. Board games were huge because it brought the family together. Obviously, we didn't have social media and all these video games. I mean, we
Yeah.
barely got Atari 2600. So Topple, Operation, Dark Tower, and then I'll show you one later. My brother was into lifting, so he got dumbbells. He got the Arnold bar, curling bar.
Nice.
And then handheld football. We mentioned that before, right? The little dash that went.
Little Coleco. Yes, I have one. I still have a working model. Proud
That's
of it.
right. We're gonna get it out one day.
Yep.
The Monchi-Chi was just funny. I just remember that either the commercial or the TV show cartoon, and we were in France or Belgium, and I came across a Monchi-Chi doll, and it just sparked back memories. What the heck, Monchi-Chi, Monchi-Chi, Monchi-Chi,
Monchi-Chi.
Monchi-Chi, Monchi-Chi, oh so soft and cuddly, with the thumb in her mouth, she's really neat, fun to wiggle his little feet. Yeah, 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 yeah. Happy, happy Monchi-Chi. I love you, Monchi-Chi.
I tell my therapist about it all the time.
That's right. These were bad times, Mom. And then Simon, obviously, you've heard that quite a few times, especially in the. That's completely wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So then the ones that I do absolutely remember were Lincoln Logs and Erector sets. Love those. And you could do just so much things with either one of those. Definitely was engineering, a road towards an engineering degree in college, if you will.
Well, it was sort of advanced Legos, you know. It's like, well, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the Erector set. I remember struggling with that, and my dad got me a couple of these things, and you know, not everything was my cup of tea, and I just had a little bit of trouble. The Legos were a little bit easier to put together, I think.
Yep. And for those passionate about Lego, it's Lego. I'm sorry, not Legos, but Lego. And then this thing was really cool. There's crazy elaborate ones that are out there right now, but we remember the basic ones, and trying to keep the damn thing on the track, trying to zoom it around and taking it off. And there was a little connector that you'd take an eraser and you'd kind of make sure that the connector's just perfectly and shine, but you would launch around those curves and it would damn well do a U-turn on you, and you go, damn it. And then you couldn't do a Tokyo drift back then.
You got to kind of feather the trigger. It's a very, because I was telling Paul before, I've actually got one of these a few years ago. It was like a bonus from RC Willie. So we put it together and we had that thing up for a couple months, just kept working on it. But I mean, it's a very thin line to kind of thread it so it doesn't fly off the track or go wipe something out. But definitely a good time. And they had the ones that used to go up the walls. Do you remember those?
Yes.
That was some high tech shit right there.
Yeah, these are great fun. Probably even fun today, like you said, and just simple, so simple. Obviously, electric and all that stuff, but it was great. All right, so then Tycho, let me see. And I mentioned the other board game, Leverage. We have a photo of us with the Leverage in the back, and you remember in one of our previous shows, very much Simon and Operation, probably Topple, and I forgot the other one, but the audience probably remembers. But
Jenga?
No, the one that it'd shake and then it poof, and it would pop up, and you go, "Holy shit!" And it would just scare
Perfection.
Yeah, Perfection. It would scare the crap out of you. Same thing. This was very much you try to who can lean which way and blah, blah.
Interesting.
Anyway, pretty neat game. Obviously, you know in hell you can find it today, probably.
But the reason I'm intrigued is they have a game at Kilowatt Brewing in Ocean Beach, San Diego. It's a larger version of this, and I'm looking at this because I never had seen this game before, and I'm like, wait a second, I just played that last month, and it's just larger pieces and stuff. But it's the same thing, and once it collapses to the one side, obviously that's when you lose. So I would assume that when it touches the table there, I guess is when you're screwed.
Yeah. It's a neat concept, absolutely, and again, it just kept our interests for years, and until of course the video games just came on board, and it was like we didn't even look back after that.
Yeah, that's freaking game over at that point. But
all right, so let me do this while you load your images and go to your thing. So here's the story that I wanted to share. Yeah. And I'm gonna have a little bit of Okay. So I tried to find an image of this kerosene heater that we had at our house. So there's photos of us in our living room downstairs, and there's a kerosene heater in the back. This thing is
Gotcha.
what we kept the house warm, or at least the room that we were in at the time warm. I don't know what the hell happened to central heating at the time, or what, or we didn't. Well, we did have a fireplace, and we lit that thing, and that's what I'm
Right.
leading into. So one Christmas, had the kerosene heater. We obviously put that away. It felt it was time to have a fire. We had the fire. My dad then proceeded to take the logs out of the fire and put them in a tin metal pail, I guess,
Okay.
and place it in our basement. Well, the living room was already in the basement, but the basement was a door that went into the basement where we kept things stored. The laundry room was in there, and we also had a room where my father's ham radio operation was located, and also became his, I guess, version of, I guess, an office, because eventually he was into gadgets, and he got the Apple IIe, Apple IIc computer at the time, and that's when we got a game called Wizardry and played the hell out of that. And we brought over people like Kevin Perkins, who we've mentioned on the show, Chris Kendall, Ian Dodd, and a bunch of other people, Eric Shoemaker. They all came over, and we played characters like D&D, because that was big at the time, but this was called Wizardry, and very much similar. Anyway,
Nice.
But that fateful year when he put those logs in the pan, or in the tin, or bucket, whatever, probably the bucket, I'm assuming it sparked and jumped, and he had newspaper or other paper nearby. Anyway, caught on fire.
Yeesh.
Our basement burned, along with the Hot Wheels that I mentioned, and a lot of the toys that I just shared with you that came from my heart.
Right.
And anyway, my dad goes down. No, actually, the next morning we're downstairs watching Saturday morning cartoons, I think, and we started seeing smoke coming through the vent. And I said, what's going on with that? My brother opened the door, saw flames, freaked out, I think, went upstairs. And this is my horrible recollection. Told Dad.
Wow.
Dad came down. He proceeded to try to fan it and pour water on it, and all. Ain't happening. It was done. He calls the fire department. They come out, and check this out. They arrive at the front door, all dressed in their firefighter outfits, and it might have been snowing, or at least snow was on the ground or whatever. And they said, "All right, where's the fire? We're heading down there." And my mom said, "No," in her British accent, "No, you can't come in with your dirty boots. Go around the back." She told him to go around the back of the house, because that's where they could access it down this little stairway into the basement through a woods shop, whatever. And that's exactly what they did. They went around the house with their hoses and came through the back and sprayed everything down. And yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, everything that we loved burnt down, and that was a funny ass reaction from my mom. All right, so that's that story. I will end with this. There's a photo of Billy Booth, if he watches this, is going to love this. My brother is wearing a Dallas Cowboys PJs outfit on. I'm wearing a Philadelphia Eagles PJs outfit on in one of our Christmas photos, which showcases this is what my dad did. He's like, he either hated the Washington Redskins or something, but he got us these PJs, and
just pitting you against each other.
It seems that way. This is what you're going to get, boys. And then finally, we got him beer, Newcastle Brown,
Right.
And then of course, as you know, it snowed where we grew up, and we got gloves, sweaters, hats, and we went through our toys, got dressed up, and we were out the door.
Nice. Well, it's interesting about those PJs that you talk about, because if you remember in the 70s or, again, early 80s, big catalog time for Christmas. The wish book from Sears would come out every November. And if you flip to the back, there's always the sports section. So you've got a jersey from each team. You've got pajamas from each team. You got a hat from each team. So easy Christmas shopping for mom and dad. I just say, circle here, circle here, circle here. I want this.
Oh, and you did?
Oh yeah, but we were Baltimore Colts back in those days, so
That's
I
right.
have to get my Colts PJs and my Burt Jones jersey and my Colts helmet, which I still have tucked away here somewhere. So, but yeah, Uncle, what's his name? Uncle Rico. He can borrow it from me. So, so interestingly, when we were talking earlier about sort of the Santa transition, I think back to the year that kind of blew it. So I mentioned mom and dad like to throw the parties on Christmas Eve. And the one year I came out a little early, I guess I had to go to the bathroom, maybe at 5 a.m. or something like that. And we didn't have a very big house. So as I'm walking down the hallway, I'm spying my father in the chair wrapping a gift. And I'm like, I wonder what he's got out there. Well, that particular year, he had this out there. It's jackpot. So yeah, so we had the Atari, maybe 4 cartridges I think we had. I remember my dad was a big video game guy because he played at the arcade with me a lot. I think we had like Defender, that shitty Pac-Man that was on Atari. That was like, oh, what is this fucking crap? Missile Command. I think that adventure game that's in the console right there. Of course I had that one. But
I had Maze Craze, which I loved.
That's
and
a great game.
I can't find photos of it, but I was really good at it. And then Pitfall.
Well, they're on my machine. If next time you come to town, they're on my machine that has the 8,000 games on it. Both of those are certainly on there. But yeah, but again, so that kind of blew it. So then I said, well,
wait a minute, hold on a second.
What did Santa bring?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying though. You know that your parents get you stuff, but was this labeled as from Santa the next morning, or that?
You're darn tootin' it was. So I think they just decided to let the whole myth go at age 7, which was perfectly fine. And I remember kind of being like put off for a second. I'm like, I'm 7. Did I say 7? I meant 17. No, wait, no, it was 7. But yeah,
Santa Claus isn't real, Dad.
Yeah, they blew the myth that day. But I will tell you this though: the year before, this is still the present that still blows my mind. And I was 5 years old at the time, but we had a finished basement at the house. Again, back east, we had a pool table down there. Again, mom and dad like to entertain and stuff. So we got this.
No way.
This was so this was a home version of the Captain Fantastic Elton John Brown Dirt Cowboy pinball machine, and this stayed in the family until about 2010. My parents were considering moving to Vegas, and this was part of the garage sale where they sold this. And I will tell you that this blew me away. This forever cemented my love of pinball from a very early age. I will tell you that. But yeah, so I mean, but some of the artwork, here's like the back glass off the machine. So you see like all of the, and this was worth the watermark to show you this as far as what's in there. But
yes,
but yeah, I mean, all the album art from there. I mean, you can see some of the little funky little Elton John characters and things that were on those albums and stuff. So that was cool. And this is one that kept high scores. So that's kind of an important thing when you're living with your brother at the time. My dad played a lot, so we were pretty competitive when it came to this game back in the day. But But even here's the gameplay sideways, but here's kind of how it looks down on top of it. So you can see not a whole lot of features and ramps and stuff like that, but it certainly was fun to play. And unfortunately, I couldn't rotate the image, so everybody's got to like that. Oh yeah, I see what he's saying.
All right, everybody, let's do it. Ready?
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Oh, so Elton John was turned into a cartoon character. I did not know that.
That's right. Yeah, some of the funky album art of the late 70s, and that's ultimately where these machines kind of spawned, because this one was designed for home play. There wasn't a coin slot on it. It's just a start button. So this is one that they designed really to sell.
I was thinking of how much that blew our mind, where we were playing games that were actually in the arcade that we were throwing quarters in, and now we're looking at this machine in our house going, so where do you add the quarters? I don't
just
know. Certainly on the pinball machine, but not in the video games that we have. But yeah,
absolutely mind blowing. So that was again, still to this day that was probably the one that just completely blew my doors off as far as an awesome gift. So and we've talked about on a prior show, but I'm still a pretty big fan of lawn darts, and I remember that was a Christmas gift that I did get.
Here it comes.
Right. Yeah. So and I was telling Christine this last night. I said, we legitimately had a couple sets of these in the backyard, and me and my degenerate friends, we'd be playing, and then all of a sudden someone would decide to throw a lawn dart straight up in the air and say, think fast. So everybody would have to scatter like cockroaches when the lights come on. So, thankfully nothing like this ever happened, but this is my friend, John, and he didn't think fast. So unfortunately he had to go to the hospital. This was actually a picture from 1981 when we got that last set of lawn darts. So he did pull through. So, I mean, more power to him as far as that.
What was that? Was that old school where the that Sean got? I forgot his name.
Got him with the trank dart.
Trank dart. What are you talking about? I can't even stop it. That's what that looks like. He's gonna start.
Man.
You're like, oh, shut up! You're so crazy.
Ow! Yes, that's awesome.
You're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
It's just unbelievable.
And of course, you brought that image back. From what? From show 7, right?
Episode 7, the Adventures in Babysitting and Toys episode. So
come on, people, watch that show. It's great.
You can learn a lot of safety tips about lawn darts, but yeah. So that was a solid Christmas gift. Maybe not so safe, but anyway.
Yeah, but where were the parents? Were the parents looking out the window going, "Look at those kids having a blast! Isn't that amazing? Oh, they're throwing sharp, heavy ass objects that are coming down like a missile. Oh, they'll be fine."
70s and 80s were a little bit different time, especially the early 80s. It was a different time.
Yeah.
So then you talked about computers. So thankfully my parents sort of nurtured my interest in computers, and the VIC-20 was my first computer foray, the big 20 character widescreen and the cassette drive, all the old school type of accessories that we had back in those days.
Wow, look at that thing. Oh my gosh.
That is so just a quick side note. So my headquarters for my company is in Roswell, Georgia, and there's a museum there. It's sort of like the electronics museum, but it goes back like 100 years. But all of this stuff is there, and a lot of it works, which is just scary. And the fact that I appreciated this has cemented the fact that I am indeed a dork. Nerd! But I'm comfortable with it though. But yeah, some of this stuff like the VIC-20, and then of course we all know what the VIC-20 evolved into the Commodore 64. So then we went 64 characters wide, and again maybe the power cassette drive, and even floppy disks came out around this time. I mean, just quite a concept that we had.
Those things definitely had no shelf life whatsoever. you're almost you're like trying to jiggle them into the stupid slot. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my
But
gosh.
but yeah, I mean, so they're the ones that kind of come to mind. I mean, I was a sports guy growing up, so we constantly had jerseys and equipment. I was a big baseball player, so always getting a new set of cleats and
Oh,
things like
yeah,
that
glove. Yeah.
for Christmas. What I didn't get back then, but I got and am wearing on the show tonight is the Slayer sweater.
Look at that.
So if you're into ugly Christmas sweaters and you want to get the Slayer version, you can get it on Amazon for $39.
Let me ask, is there ugly sweaters for all heavy metal bands? Like Judas
Pretty damn
Priest has
close.
one? That's what I figured.
If you would go on to Amazon and say Judas Priest ugly Christmas
Yeah.
sweater, I guarantee, because I mean you got to think about there's so many graphics out there and merch that you can generate and stuff like that. But yeah, again, this is one that certainly generates a response when I wear this one. But
Yeah.
back to older Christmas gifts.
Yeah,
the
maybe
Nintendo.
you should have gone with Striper ugly sweater.
Oh, there you go. But then Nintendo, my dad won this at a raffle on Christmas Eve. I guess it was one of the video stores. I don't think it was Don's, but it was another video store, I think, that we went to at that time.
You were
And
living the
comes home-
dream, man.
He got that right. Came home with the Nintendo. I mean, you didn't even have to blow on the cartridges back in those days. It was still too new for all that crap.
So I mean, okay, you get the Nintendo. What happens to the Atari 2600?
Well, it gathers a little bit of dust, but but again, I was blessed at an early age to have a 23-inch TV in my room or something like that. So I always had all the game systems kind of lined up next to each other and just some quick plugs, a little switching here and there. You could pretty much go between them because I mean, some of those Atari games you couldn't let go, like Pitfall and stuff like that. I mean, you always got to give it a little try.
I missed my chance to befriend Charlie in the early middle school, early high school years.
We had the fun shit going on over at our house, at least in the
That's
video
right.
game side of thing.
I do have a photo of us together right before I left for basic training as we graduated from high school at your party.
And where is that picture?
It's Mike Antlis is in the photo with Lloyd Atlee Redmond and you, and we're at your bar. I think we're a little toasty in the photo. And I think that was the next morning, as I mentioned in a previous show, I went and ran the track at Chesapeake, and then I was off to basic training.
So to give a little more context to that, because I do recall exactly what that night was, back in the old days when we were almost legal drinking age, we had a few games that we liked to play. We had Century Club, which I've talked about that on a prior show, which is a shot of beer a minute for 100 consecutive minutes, which I think comes out to like 13.6 beers, I think is what that translates out to in 12-ounce.
Not my club.
Not easy. I got to 126. That was my record. Wow. You have to get the gas bubble. You got to keep beating your chest like you're having a heart attack, but it works. I mean, eventually you get there. Me and George Bell got there. So George was at that. So that same night that you're referring to was 24 Club night. Mm-hmm. So the 24 Club, I don't know what that is. That's a case of beer in 8 hours, essentially. So can't drink these heavy Cherries Jubilee beers or you'd be in the emergency room after 6. But this was some of the shitty beer that we drank back in the day. I think my beer of choice that evening probably was Natural Light, I would think. I wasn't very discerning when I was 17 years old. You were probably Coors Light, because I know
I was Coors Light and I got to 17.
Yes, you did. And so what we did is everybody had their corner of the basement. So you had to stack your cans there so that way we could reconcile the books at the end of the night just to make sure that you got to 24. Other highlights of that night, I remember Atlee tried to drink his 24 beers through a straw. So unfortunately, I think after 9 or 10, didn't go so well. So I remember he went to my mom's toaster oven in the kitchen, took the rack out, and then started bending the rack with his teeth I think you actually helped separate him from that particular toaster oven rack. So that was a little disappointing. Yeah, I know you got to 17 and then you had to bounce. And I think Mike was in the 15, 16 range. The only person that got to 24 with me was George Bell yet again. So the man is was a marathon runner back in those days. I will say that.
Yeah.
But that's a challenge. And again, 24 beers of any kind would probably put me into a hospital in a coma probably for a couple weeks. So again, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, I was gonna say 24 Coors Lights today. I would be struggling with today, even though my tolerance is way more. Actually, I would be drinking and this stuff sucks.
Right, I'd have a hard enough time walking back and forth to the refrigerator 24 times in an afternoon. Yet drinking 24 beers. But
oh my gosh.
But yeah, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season for doing stupid stuff, apparently.
Hey, because you were into sports, did you have that table?
Yes,
where you
the vibrating football table.
Yes.
Oh yeah, two times I had that because the first one broke after a couple years.
You put the little foam football and you go, and you go, he's going, and then all of a sudden he just starts doing this stupid circle, and you're like, what the?
Yep. You'd set the little dial to try to get him to go in the right direction, which I mean sometimes work. And that was the agonizing thing of setting 11 players up. So I mean, this is like you're setting up a chessboard essentially every time, expecting them to do what they need to do. And then the stupid quarterback, like Paul had mentioned, the foam thing, you'd rock his little arm back and he would shoot the thing. And if it hit the guy, then that's a complete pass.
That's
right. But then there was a kicking game too. If you remember, that same quarterback had a kicking mechanism, so you kick that same stupid foam football through the uprights, allegedly. But yeah, and there's another one. Speaking of football, there was I got this for Christmas, Mr. Quarterback. So you would actually have it's a little smaller than regulation football that would fit in this little arm. You'd kind of wind it, and then you'd run out you'd set it for like a 10-second timer or however long, and then it would throw you a pass. So that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that one.
The toy for those who don't have friends.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, look at Bobby out back playing with his toy.
It's Mr. Quarterback.
Bobby, go get some damn friends.
Right. And all of a sudden, so the newer version of it would be like a voice operated one, and be like, "Hey, Bobby, why don't you come over here and never mind."
What's Bobby doing in the shed?
Right. Well, hey, when did Mr. Quarterback start driving a windowless van?
They're heading to the point.
Right. Where? Oh my God! They're going to the dugout.
Here comes Damone.
Mr. Quarterback's coming out of the pool.
Oh gosh. And laser tag. I forgot to mention laser tag. I don't know if I got that for Christmas, but I remember that being a huge gift that we played. And that was the one that I climbed my dad's zip line ladder and thought it was really cool to hook my arm in and do a total action figure where I jump and I'd be like, pew, 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 and shoot people up. And as soon as I jumped on it, it went, and I went, oh crap. And I fell 15 feet. And
oh my God.
Boo! Didn't go to the hospital, but holy crap, that hurt. And that stopped the game pretty fast.
That explains why your shoulders are out of alignment.
I know.
Yeah, laser tag was, so I discovered that in Wildwood, New Jersey in like 1987. I was there on vacation and we walked in like the back door of this place and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was, that whole laser tag. And I think do they still have that? I think that's still a thing, I believe.
Oh, no, remember it became Photon.
That's what it was. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
fun. I love that.
It was. Everybody put little obnoxious, obscene names out front, so that's what show up on the screen. I think mine was Kix. My name was Kix Ice, so Kixice. So even at an early age, I was doing my homage to Kix.
Ooh, you're so creative.
Very.
All right. Well, speaking of being creative, I think we should get in some holiday spirit and play some songs. What do you think?
Let's hear some tunes.
We are focusing on not only Christmas, but just winter, December.
All right. Might as well put on some music. What would you like to hear?
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
America! Demand your MTV! I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV! Call your cable company and say, I want my MTV!
Turn it on, leave it on. America, see the music you want to see.
I want my MTV. All right.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
24 hours a day on cable TV.
I want my MTV, MTV, MTV!
Yeah, too much is never enough.
That's my new favorite montage.
And MTV just tuned out for forever, after 40 years or some insane amount of time. But
The only, again, I sound like I work for them. If you have YouTube TV as your live channels, always remember MTV Classic does exist. So you can always go back and look at these. I want my 80s, my 90s, my Metal Mania, my 120 minutes. But yeah, but for the most part, it's all history. But you can always go back and look.
oh yeah, I mean, you don't need MTV now, especially that decades ago they switched from mostly music videos to reality shows and a bunch of other weird stuff. But
All the new music sounds like shit these days anyway. You think back to the South Park episode. So it sounds like shit.
The promos that they did obviously pushed the cable companies and people to get more into their subscription, if you will, at the time. But the people, almost everybody was on board to push that because they understood the importance of getting into America's living room, into the kids' ears and saying, we are a band you might not know. Come on out to the record store and buy our record.
It changed the game. Well, now the only way they make money is touring, since now the whole model has been destroyed. But yeah, they definitely took advantage of it in the 80s. And it was nice to see Sting before he was like a really serious dude, which was most of his career. Like this is back when he had a little color in his hair, didn't really give a shit, maybe drink a beer and not make it feel guilty about it. But yeah, great era for that band.
And Boy George, oh my! I show my kid, hey, look at this guy. She's like, that's a guy. I'm like, yeah, that's Boy George. All right, Christmas rapping. I had to shorten a lot of my titles because they were just
me
so
too. Me too. Yeah. No Christ in our list because we have a 200 character limit. If anybody wants to know.
Sorry, are those really religious people that said, "Oh, it's Christmas." I know Xmas.
It's not about religion. It's about 200 character limit. So
yeah, exactly. So Christmas rapping by the Waitresses from 1981. They are from Akron, Ohio. And who else is from Akron, Ohio?
We are Devo.
Yeah, that's right. They're from the Devo world. They were active from 78 to 83. You might remember, I Know What Boys Like.
That's the other one.
Yeah, that's the other one. So they had their debut concert, by the way, because we're going to be sort of promoting a possible end of year show coming up, but their debut concert was on New Year's Eve. And I didn't know this part. They did the theme song to Square Pegs. Remember that show?
Yes, they did.
Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm probably going to put it in on the show right now.
Square peg, square, hey, always never quite right. Square peg, square.
Square pegs. Yep, I remember. We reviewed that in our TV production class. Good Lord. Yeah. We had the early look.
Oh, and she was so cute back then.
Yeah.
Okay, and they had a tie-in with the B-52s. I think their bassist eventually played with the B-52s, and VH1 had them as the 82nd greatest one-hit wonders of all time with I Know What Boys Like. And they also said that I Know What Boys Like was the 34th. I'm all about, because we're doing countdowns, right? The 34th one-hit wonder of the 1980s.
Plus, it's a great stripper song.
Which one? I Know What Boys Like. Yeah.
I think in the Hustler countdown of top 100 all-time stripper songs, I Know What Boys Like was number 19.
Ooh, okay. All right. Now we're getting real risque.
That's right.
Yeah, so Chris is rapping. Oh, and also, it's a play on words because 1979, Curtis Blow came out with Christmas rapping with an R. And so they thought
They were playing 4D chess with their song names.
Here's Christmas rapping. Next up is, holy crap, I'm off. I'm off. Is the Bangles, Hazy Shade of Winter from 1987. They formed in Los Angeles in 1981. They were part of a Cyndi Lauper tour, which kind of helped them launch their careers. And they have a tie-in with Prince, which we talked about on the last show. Manic Monday was written by Prince for his Apollonia 6 side show.
I thought that was a spaceship.
What? I know, doesn't it sound like it?
It does.
And
it took Sputnik out.
It's MTV. All right, and all right, Internal Flame, which you probably know, was the biggest single by an all-female band in history. And going back to show 7, Charlie's crush, she recorded it naked.
Stop it.
She did. She was told by some producer or whatever. Amazing how she just said, "Oh, okay." That Olivia Newton-John also recorded some of her songs naked, and she said, "Okay." So she recorded Internal Flame naked, and the rest of the album naked. I can't
Producer
find photos.
/ sexual predator.
I can't find photos. All right, and then just to give props to the Bangles, they all wrote, they all played, and they all sang. And unfortunately, the media at the time focused on Susanna Hoffs and it caused tension in the band, and that's why they broke up in 1989 or 1990 or something like that. But that was unfortunate, but that's completely untrue. They all had amazing voices, and so on and so forth.
Everybody always hates on the lead singer. Ask Belinda Carlisle.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Hazy Shade of Winter was also played during a New Year's Eve party. It is from the movie Less Than Zero, which we talked about on show 7. And they had actually had already been playing it, performing it live at their concerts, at least back to 1982. Again, this was 1987, so this is not something new to them. They were already performing this because they were huge Simon and Garfunkel fans. Right? Did I say that right? Simon and Garfunkel. Anyway, but a tie-in here, Oingo Boingo, guitarist, plays acoustic guitar in Hazy Shade of Winter. All right.
What? Oingo Boingo's tentacles run deep.
They do. Here we go.
I was so hard to please. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade.
And we have Lindsey Buckingham, which we mentioned earlier in the show. We have to give props to him. I think it's a him, right? Lindsey? Anyway,
Yes,
so
yes,
yeah.
he is.
Lindsey, well, lucky fella, was actually partnered with Stevie Nicks for quite some time. I'm sure admired by many rockers at the time. Like, damn it, Lindsey, you son of a bitch.
That
Yeah,
band was complicated though. I think Stevie,
Yes.
I think, had a thing with Mick Fleetwood at some point. I think the McVies, I think they were screwing around with some of the other people. And again, like Dave Chappelle said many a time, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
What was it, him or was it his character that hey man?
That was Tyrone Biggums, I believe was the
I loved his his MTV Cribs that he showed off his cardboard house. Oh yeah, then I got this live TV when you pull down the piece, you can see the people.
God.
Classic. All right, well, he was part of Fleetwood Mac. He is the 100th out of the 100th greatest guitarists, according to Rolling Stone.
Is that out of 100?
Yeah, it's out of 100. You just made it, Lindsey. You lucky son of a bitch.
There you go.
Yep. Dated Stevie Nicks. Actually introduced Stevie Nicks to Fleetwood Mac. Brought her into the fold.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the rest is history.
Sure is.
Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters fame.
Dated Stevie Nicks?
No, he produced, directed again, I think, Vacation. And
Okay.
yeah, and actually asked Lindsey Buckingham to sing a song on the soundtrack, which is what you said earlier. I don't do soundtracks, it's not my kind of thing. But he said, all right, Harold Ramis, I'll do it for you. And then Holiday Road was
staple.
Yep, and it was covered by the Aquabats, which we've talked about before, who are huge Devo fans. Anyway, this is Holiday Road. Okay, so next is Billy Squier from 1981's Christmas is a Time to Say I Love. I couldn't fit that entire title in there, but that's what
I love Billy Squier. I tell you, I mean, that early stuff, I mean, everything he made was a hit. He was a hit maker. The only mistake I think he made in his career was like the Rock Me Tonight video, which even he didn't like the idea of that. But love me some Billy.
Okay, so yes, I wrote down he could do no wrong between 81 and 84. He was knocking out stuff. He came from a bunch of different bands and tried to make it work, but eventually it sounded either maybe he was too complicated. He was a perfectionist. He clashed with some people and ultimately went solo, which obviously helped and launched his career. He also was massive on the MTV rotation. His songs, at least one in particular, has been sampled many times. The drum breaks from the song. A lot of people probably have heard it and they have no idea where it came from. But Billy Squier, thank you. He toured with Kiss, Alice Cooper, Queen, Def Leppard. He actually helped support Def Leppard's rise to prominence as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Yes, so the MTV rotation situation, the Rock Me Tonight video in a book from that sort of spoke about MTV's videos, it was noted that this was probably the worst video voted by quite a few people of all time. It has him, look it up, folks. It has him, it has him in his, well, eventually he changes, he rips the really cool shirt that he had on, which was not that cool. But anyway, he rips that off and he puts on a pink tank top, which I'm like, what? And then he picks up a pink guitar. You see where I'm going with this. He's in satin sheets on his bed. He's dancing around really oddly. And for instance, anyway, there's a homoeroticism kind of angle to it that even Joe Elliott from Def Leppard was like, we were watching the video with through our hands over our face going, no, Billy, no. Mick Jagger can move like that, which it totally looks like Mick Jagger, but Billy, you can't. And so there was a lot of people, Rat, for instance, who was actually touring with Billy at the time, was like, there's no way. You should have been able to go back and stop it. Stop that video, pull it from the air, do it again, do something, but it just kept going and going, and it got worse and worse to the point where a lot of the fans of Billy were, what is going on? This is really not the Billy we remember from the music and the stage. And they started not showing up at shows. And that was the last time he was selling out stadiums or concerts. And it changed his trajectory massively.
Yeah, that was an era, though. I think like Kiss was wearing pink spandex. Motley Crue did that on the Home Sweet Home thing. I think everybody just kind of did a little dalliance with color at that point. But yeah, it was. And Billy kind of just stepped away from the music scene. You know, he's not somebody you ever hear touring anymore. I think he made his money at that point, invested it wisely, and said, all right, well, you guys want to talk shit about me?
Yeah, I will share this, that Jay Giles even said, look, between 83, 84, there was tons of bands that were doing some cheesy, low-budget, gender-bending kind of crap at the time, and, you know, just leave the guy alone. He's not gay. He had a girlfriend at the time. He got married to a woman. So yeah, even my brother mentioned, and he loved Billy Squier, and I love Billy Squier, but there was enough negative media that pushed him to a different, again, I mentioned angle that his career never recovered from that.
But this was a cool song.
Yeah, this was a cool song. Yeah, Christmas is the time. Say I love you. It was, the video was done well because it was with MTV VJs live, and they brought in a bunch of people from New York and had a blast. So, all right. So here is Billy Squier from 1981. Christmas is the time to say I love you.
Christmas is the time to say I love you. Share the joys of laughter and the cheer. Christmas is the time to say I love you. And I feel it that lasts all through the year. On the corner, carolers are singing. There's a touch of magic in the air.
All right, my last feature. It's funny, folks. So there's certain moments on the show where we come up with themes, and usually I know to stay away from metal, hard rock. Charlie's the king of that. And I don't pretend to play in his world, even though I'm clearly aware of songs. I'm like, this would be pretty good, but it's a good balance until there's not a good balance, and there's a fight to see who can get the certain song on there. So it's
first come, first serve.
Yeah, we'll call it the crossover.
That's right.
All right. I shifted from, and I will throw this at you, Billy, and the audience. Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues, beautiful song. So 2,000 Miles by the Pretenders is an interesting song. Life in a Northern Town by Dream Academy. Long December by Counting Crows.
There you go.
once I listened to it, I'm like, I'm not touching that one.
Terrible.
December
Not
by
good
Collective
song.
Soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
December by Collective Soul. I didn't want to end the show like you did on a down note.
On a runaway train. It's like, geez, it's Quaalude song to close out the 5. So yeah, won't be doing that this week.
How about Great White North by Rush and Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Okay.
They also did 12 Days of Christmas, which was hilarious, but I stepped away from that. Flowers in December by Mazzy Star. And because Billy kind of opened my ears to this, Steve Ludiker, am I saying that right? Steve Ludiker? And Friends, Santa Metal.
Santa Metal.
46-minute Christmas album by Steve Ludiker and Friends. Slash is on it. Eddie Van maybe Eddie Van Halen might be on it, and a bunch of other people. And they're just guitaring the hell out of all the Christmas classics. I mean,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, you should look that up. I was stunned at how I go, is it continuous? And it seemed like it was continuous. They were just jamming and rocking out and playing, and it's legit. So that's I'm sure Billy probably is aware of that. But I steered clear of that. I went, I'm going to go with Sleigh Ride from TLC, a band that I fell in love with. I thought all 3 of them were hot in the 90s. And they formed in 1990 from Atlanta. T is for T-Boz, L is for Left Eye, and C is for Chili. They're pretty hot girls. Great energy. And this song was in a John Hughes film called Home Alone, which you might remember. They were ranked 12th of 100 women in music, and they were the 7th most successful artist, I guess, of the 1990s.
Plus, Left Eye burned down her ex-husband's house back in the 90s as well, so she has that going for her.
Yeah, Andre Rison.
That was it. Andre Bad Moon Rison.
I'm from the Atlanta Falcons, and then of course, unfortunately, she passed away in an accident. But yeah, this is Sleigh Ride, and it's pretty cool. All right, here we go.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, and away we go in winter wonderland. Oh, we ride in the snow. With the left, everything is grand. Sleigh ride if you like me, baby. Don't be scared. Take my hand, T to the left. I see if you can take a glide. Giddy up the guts and step one up so we can slide. Home alone, Christmas Eve, make believe it's time to play. So let's blow on this note. Where the sack on my back, 'cause Santa's trying to black this Cadillac. Riding and riding.
All right, and there you go. There's my picks for the Christmas, winter, December timeframe.
All right. So let's dig into my 5 entries into the playlist this week. Quick honorable mention that doesn't fit our year range, although I do highly recommend it, is Twisted Sister. They created a Twisted Christmas album in 2008. And again, mentioning it because they are an 80s band, but they did a full-blown Christmas song, I think 13 songs, I think, on that album. And then they toured on it multiple years. So they were able to sort of capitalize on the album success and were able to kind of seasonally tour Twisted Christmas. So how that kind of relates to my first selection is Christmas Eve in Sarajevo by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So most people have probably heard of them by now, but the origin story for Trans-Siberian was there was a couple guys, the names fail me right now, but they had a band called Savatage, Savatage. They were from New Jersey. Good metal band from the 80s. Their song that you might remember from MTV Metal was The Hall of the Mountain King. It was kind of an elaborate video that they had at the time. So ultimately, these two guys who were the origin members of that band decided to create sort of a Christmas themed program. And that's sort of how Trans-Siberian Orchestra was born, was from this metal band from the 80s, kind of transitioned into this. And they were able to sort of parlay the album's success into this touring entity that still goes on to this day and sells out every city that they go to. We've seen them here in Vegas probably like 7 times. I mean, they've only been around in the last 10 years, maybe twice, but we certainly make sure that we see them. But I will tell you that Christmas Eve in Sarajevo is also prominently featured on commercials around this time of the year when they're showing people's Christmas lights and things like that. So kind of when you hear the notes of the song, that's going to ring the bell like, oh yeah, I remember that from the Christmas light commercial. But
yeah. Oh, let me ask you this, Charlie. Yeah, it's I wondered if heavy metal bands got into doing a Christmas album. So that sort of answers it, but I'm curious to hear what you say about, other acts.
A good handful back in the 80s and 90s, they would, as they toured like this time of the year, would sort of throw some cover songs in there and stuff like that. I know Skid Row did a couple of those. Dokken, I think, did a Christmas song. So they would usually have maybe a sprinkled live song in there every now and then, but they never really did the full-blown Christmas album, again, with the exception of Twisted Sister doing their thing. I know Slade has a song. The name fails me right this second, but Christmas song that still kind of carries on to this day, but it was written in the 70s, so doesn't fit our parameters as far as that. But Trans-Siberian, it's just amazing to me because they even tour in 2 different groups now, because one of the original origin members has passed. But they have all of these stars that come in. They have like an electric violin player who's really just it's an amazing pyrotechnic instrumental, just mind-blowing kind of thing. So if you've never seen them before and they come through your town, definitely try to make a point to check it out, or at the very least look them up on Spotify or something and figure out how freaking good they are.
Insane. Yeah, it's an insane show. And it's pyrotechnics, it's loud, it's just whew.
Yeah, full-blown Christmas spirit, that's for sure.
Singing, right? No singing.
Some of when you see them live, some of the songs will have they always have the same sort of narrator guy as the singer generally, as far as how they do the shows. But songs like that, they say, get the hell out of the way, we're gonna get out here and rock it out and spray fire at everybody.
And you're sitting back going, maybe the violin is pretty badass.
That's what I'm saying.
The cello and the oboe and the whatevers.
Yeah, give me a little classical gas here if I can. So anyway, so fantastic stuff there. So again, let's shift gears a little bit. It's interesting, my Spotify playlist or sort of my results list for the year popped up on my phone today. And I saw that King Diamond was my 3rd most listened to artist this year, which I don't know if that has anything to do with my state of mind this year or whatever, but I couldn't pass up a Christmas playlist without the No Presents for Christmas song, which it was a picture disc back in the old days. It wasn't actually on an original album. I remember buying the picture disc at record and tape traders, and it had like King Diamond with his little evil look on the picture disc and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is a hell of a song to they should play this one at the shopping malls during Christmas and wake everybody up as they're in their holiday slumber.
People running around like ripping garments off of hangers. Ah, this is mine. You don't touch that Teddy Ruxpin. I will destroy you.
Right, sacrificing virgins, stuff they do at Hex or Sears at this time of the year.
All right, here's No Presents for Christmas by King Diamond.
Santa needs some souls.
He can't go another octave higher. Oh, the hell he can't.
That's right. Just hold my beer and my bag of gifts. I'm gonna break some glasses here.
Wonderful. Love it.
Unbelievable. So then, to swing back to an homage to one of our earlier episodes where we took a look at This Is Spinal Tap, and as a quick PSA, Spinal Tap 2 is available to stream on Amazon Prime right now for a low price of $6. So if you want to check out that sequel, hit your Amazon Prime and you can check out the new offering, but not featured in the movie, but was on a Spinal Tap album, was Christmas with the Devil. So, again, our good friends in Spinal Tap, and there's lots of pretty cool picture discs that are actually associated with this new offering as well. So definitely check out, if you're a Spinal Tap fan, just hit that into your search engine if you want to spend a little money on the tap. You'll be tapping into a healthy Christmas with with all of your knobs turned to 11.
These go to 11.
The song comes up with, and we just talked about the PMRC with the parental advisory. This comes up with the E, explicit lyrics, whereas King Diamond, No Presents for Christmas, does not have an E. So
not at all.
Well done, King Diamond. Here you go.
I used to listen to King Diamond in church, so I know he's definitely, his lyrics are pretty clean.
Charlie, how are you feeling about God today? I feel God. All right, here's Christmas with the Devil, Spinal Tap.
The elves are dressed in leather and the angels are in shades. The sugar plums are rancid and the stockings are in flames. There's a demon in my belly and a gremlin in my brain. There's someone up the chimney hole and Satan is his name. The rats ate all the presents and the reindeer ran away. There'll be no Father Christmas 'cause it's evil's holiday. So come on, ye unfaithful, don't be left out in the cold. You don't need no invitation now.
To listen to that entire song. So
That's a good one.
And go and look at the lyrics and read and learn the lyrics.
That's a gem, that's for sure. And so one of my favorite and first punk bands I loved was the Ramones back in the old days. All the hits that everybody can think of. Beat on the Brat and Rock and Roll High School and all those. But they did make a Christmas song that made it on to one of their later albums. Merry Christmas, Everybody. I Don't Want to Fight Anymore is part of the song title, but again, 200 character limit.
Yeah.
So got to be very judicious about your space. But a good jammer there. Again, that we talked a little bit about the Saturday morning cartoon themes where the Ramones did Spider-Man. So again, if you're poking around on Spotify, always a good one to dig up. But a Ramones Christmas classic.
Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight with. Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight. Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight. Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight with you. Where is Santa and his sleigh? And tell her why is it always this way? Where is Rudolph? Where is Blitzen, baby? Merry Christmas.
They just seem to have a lot of fun when they sing, and I don't know.
Well,
it seems that way.
They always were the master of the 2.5 minute song. I was blessed to see them at Lollapalooza, the metal year in '96. I was able to see them on that tour, and they just played like 6 2.5 minute songs in a row and finally said something. They just kind of just plowed on through and it just sort of did their thing. But I think my hot take of the day was that Joey Ramone was not a classically trained vocalist. I mean, that's just my theory. Not that you needed to be a good singer to be in a band like that, but just always
a bit rockabilly in a way.
Not really.
Or punkish.
Yeah, what they were like mid 70s was their inception, so that was sort of the front wave of kind of what punk was at that point.
Hello, everybody. We're not going to play long songs like The Cure.
No, we're not pretentious bastards like them.
That's right. All right.
So, and then the last one on the list, again, fighting for position on the Run DMC holiday song, but Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. I was I was a Run DMC fan back in the day, and even like in '87, that's when they were sort of doing their merging with Aerosmith, the Walk This Way, and they were sort of getting themselves into the mainstream. But they had a couple of good Christmas tunes out there. Again, Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens was the one that came to mind as we were putting our list together. Although, don't they have another Christmas song?
They do. But I would throw this at you that they also grasped the MTV era, and their videos like this Christmas in Hollis is such a good video. Going back, they were pretty good actors. I mean, they didn't look really odd like Billy Squire did when he was jumping around in the bedroom. But yeah,
they just took the shoelaces out of their Adidas, which also became a song and was pretty smart from a merchandising standpoint.
Right.
And they were involved in the music business for decades, not so much performing, but also producing a lot of other bands as well.
Yeah, because I do remember collard greens coming up and going, what are collard greens? And
it rhymes with Queens.
I learned about a lot about collard greens. What is it? When was this? 87. Yeah.
87.
All right. This is Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
That's a lot.
What the heck is Santa carrying around $1 million for?
He's got 20 keys in his bag. He's gonna drop off at the corner for Fast Eddie.
I want to make sure that we add the part of the song that says,
"We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year."
Absolutely.
That's what we're launching into, is the new year, folks.
So that's our 5 I'm sorry, 10 entries into the Spotify playlist, which again we promoted on the social pages. So if you want to come in and check out our playlist, if you got a road trip coming up for Christmas, just link into that playlist, and we got you covered.
Yes. So I would say we're going to attempt to do it and have a show before the end of the new year, but it's been crazy. Like I said, we're attempting to entertain you. We're attempting to do what we can to make this thing as professional as we can, folks. But life and jobs and family and just everyday stuff, and you add in December, which throws in tons of more, things into the mix, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work, but
it's a labor of love.
But yeah, but at the same time, it is so much fun to connect with you, Charlie, and have this 2 hours, if you will, of fun. Yeah, and it's just great just to think back and obviously do a little electrocution from my memory banks and go, oh, that's right, I forgot about. Oh, I do remember that now, and so this is good for cognitive memory training.
We figure out if they're really good memories or just memories we were suppressing that have just had the rocks flipped over on them, which again, Alf, I think, is our perfect case study of that. We loved our Alf dolls. The show,
it's a matter of taste.
Not so much. That's not exactly the Christmas gift under the tree we were looking for, but absolutely.
If we thought shows and trends and toys moved fast back in the 80s and early 90s, it is insane today how things move.
Yeah, we didn't have the internet to go look at back in those days. We just had our Sears catalog, and hopefully our dad took us to Toys R Us once in a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious. You had an actual catalog to go through.
It's fancy.
I might have wrote out my stupid list, and it's funny because I did look at I said, what 80s, what were kids asking for in the 1980s? What was the top gifts? And you can go back and you can look at all these lists, and I'm going, no, I never got that. I never got I obviously wasn't going to get a Cabbage Patch doll or a Teddy Ruxpin or, but I said, did I get G.I. Joe or Transformers like I mentioned in show 7? I did eventually, but not for Christmas, maybe for a birthday. And then, yeah, it's just interesting again, because, your parents, you never know how much they're making, what they're going through, what's just happening in their lives in general. But yeah, it's whatever it ended up being, it was memorable. It was fun. You look back at it with fondness, and yeah,
absolutely.
I just wish we had more technology back then to have tapes, like you said, the
Super 8s
and all that stuff, and to be able to go back and watch it and say, versus, you can, we still had we had camcorders, we have films, we have photos, but the photos are fading. The tapes, you can even transfer them to DVD, which is cool, but even then DVDs are not going to last. It's just going to be one of these, and then you see like the V-hold and the static, and the audio is not very good. So it's kids have a chance to remember so much more today.
With digital versus physical. So, yep, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, what a show, and what a sticky fruitcake gift, Mom. Thank you very much for that. It reminds me of a winter's morn, the clean, cool chill of the holiday air, and the asshole in the studio emptying a chemical toilet into our mixtape bin. Dude, really? What are you doing?
Shitter was full.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Nasty. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us in 2025, friends. Do we have one more party in us before the new year? Maybe.
And we truly appreciate your ongoing support of the show. But during your holiday travels, please keep spreading the word about the show. We'll keep the nostalgia flowing like eggnog into your special commemorative Wally World mug. Not to mention, we'll keep your playlist overflowing with great music every week. But bottom line is, we hope everybody has a great Christmas with your family and friends. Certainly appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for our New Year's show in a couple weeks. Thanks for watching.
That American children these days are obsessed with the whole disgusting death. The garbage-pail kids.
The Rubik Cube. Some people can do it, some can't.
Come on in. It's almost another world here in the video arcades of America.
This is Pac-Man, one of the superstar video games in the business.